Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to the round 3 feature match for my locals this past Saturday. We've got Despia on the left versus Phantom Knight, Scythe, Turbo, a deck that honestly should not be a thing. Well, not really necessarily for Phantom Knights, but more so the easy access to Scythe DPE. It's not just a gimmick way to pop the Scythe, you're using a card like DPE to pop it. Absolutely absurd, and I hope it gets addressed in some way, shape, or form on the next Forbidden and Limited list. But let's hop right into this one. We're going to see the Despia deck go first here. My friend Dan on the left versus my friend Joe on the right. Both people have been on the channel quite a few times, and we will see our Despia player here lead with the Fright for Patchwork, and that is going to get ashed. Now that Patchwork is, I want to say, good ash bait. Just because it's an inherent +1, you're going to be getting access to the polymerization and the Edge Imp Chain, which does give them a way to play, but the real threat in most cases is going to be the Branded Fusion, which is exactly what you want to go ahead and actually hit with the Ash. And now we're going to see him commit the normal summon to Aliber. We will see an Effect Veiler, but I think we're going to see the Despian Comedy, which can basically protect, I believe, any Despia monster from targeting. And we're going to go ahead and see him go ahead and get the search of the Branded Fusion, which is really, really strong. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here. Yeah, Despian Comedy. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a face-up Despia card or cards you control, you can discard this card and negate that effect. So yeah, you can basically just go ahead and negate the Effect Veiler since it does target, allowing him access to Branded Fusion. Again, one of the best cards in the entire deck, allowing you to fuse directly from your deck. Kind of like Shaddoll Fusion, but obviously your opponent doesn't need anything summoned from the extra deck, so that's absolutely huge. So we will see him send Fallen of Albaz, pretty much always going to be one of the main targets, since most of the good extra deck monsters require Fallen of Albaz, and we'll also see him send Fairy Tale Snow, not so newly off the Forbidden and Limited list, making a great target here for the Summon of Albion, and also acting as another layer of sort of protection or interruption in the graveyard. And we'll see Albion activate, banishing itself and the Fallen of Albaz from grave to summon out Mirror Jade, which is one of the deck's main forms of interruption. Simply being able to dump a monster from the extra deck to banish a card on the field, to banish a monster, I believe. So we're going to see him dump Albion to banish Aliber, and this will make it so he does not have the Mirror Jade interruption on the following turn, but it is allowing him to get access to Brandon in red, which is extremely important for this deck. So you kind of give up one interruption for a much better interruption later on. And yeah, with the Aliber being banished, really not that big of a deal, because I believe those banished cards can be added back by other means. So we'll see him lead with Psychic Tracker now, or Psychic Wielder rather, and then Kagamucha Knight, which I don't think Kagamucha Knight... I need to read Kagamucha Knight real quick. Okay, it's a normal summon level 3. For a second, I thought Kagamucha had to be on a warrior monster, but yeah. Alright, we're all good. But it looks like we're just going to see our Phantom Knight player scoop, as he's probably not going to be able to survive the Brandon Red Pop 2. Well, Pop 1, Draw 2 when he goes to the Cherubini. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like a very early scoop there, but we're just going to see him go to game 2, and we're going to see our Phantom Knight player open Tour Kage, one of still like the best openings in the deck, and definitely capable of pulling off a Scythe Lock here with those cards in hand. He will go for the Cherubini. Graf's going to go ahead and summon out the Seer, and obviously when you start with the Tour Guide, you get ahead in the game because you get that Seer out of the deck very early, and then your Cherubini basically becomes a Phantom Knight card. We'll see him send Stain Greaves, and probably going to go for, a very early Appaloosa here to help play around hand traps to a T. And then obviously Seer will trigger, bringing back the Cherubini in the grave. We'll see him activate Stained Greaves in the graveyard to go ahead and special summon Torn Scales. So absolutely phenomenal opening here so far. And it is going to put our Despia player in a situation where he is going to probably need 2 hand traps to essentially stop the board from getting any better than it is already. Or something like Forbidden Droplet would be great. Cosmic Cyclone. Some of the reasons I really like Cosmic Cyclone in this format, at least it's something that's been in the back of my mind, is wanting to main deck at least at 3 copies because it does a great job at beating the Scythe deck, any Scythe strategy for that matter. Not terrible going against the adventure stuff going first, right? You've set a Cosmic, right? You just banish the Fateful Adventure, clearing things like Meltdown, whatever it may be, outing Mystic Mine. Yeah, just a really good card all around. Helped out, like, in those back row matchups, game 1, huge help. And hitting Scythe, too, like I think I've already mentioned, but just such a strong card this format. It looks like we're going to see him link for Rusty here. He will activate the Rusty, sending, it looks like, the gloves, setting a Fog Blade, of course, or it might have been a Shade Brigandine. Then we're going to see him E-Telly out the Psychic Tracker. And at this point, it's really simple, just setting up your Dagda with Anaconda. Really not much else left to do in the combo to basically secure the FTK, essentially. And it's kind of an FTK because it's only an FTK against some decks, right? Not every deck in the game has to go into the extra deck. It's just the most mainstreamed ones happen to do so. Looks like on that Gloves activation, on Resolution, we'll see the Torn Scales summon itself out since the Phantom Knight card was banished. And then we're going to see him go for a Link 2 here. Looks like it will be Dagda. And then we're going to see him activate Fog Blade. And not chaining the Dagda that just yet. I guess he doesn't have to. Then we're going to see him go for Break Sword. Break Sword effect. Or not Break Sword effect, Rusty effect. And then in response to the Rusty effect, we're going to see him activate Dagda now. He'll set the Artifact Site directly from the deck. And then Break Sword to bring back the 2 materials. He is Dark Lock, but who really cares when Anaconda's a Dark? And we're going to go ahead and see him activate Anaconda, pay 2k. Well, first, he'll go ahead and use Boots Engraved to go ahead and add the Phantom Knight's Wings for added protection. Not just for any Phantom Knight card, but I believe anything that you target with the Wings gains 500 attack, and the first time it would be destroyed, it is not. So, can really help out Appaloosa sticking to the field, and also giving it more attack, since it obviously is going to always lose attack as you try to negate boards with it. Looks like end phase, we're going to see DPE take out itself and Anaconda. And draw phase, the only thing I would expect to see in draw phase here would be Branded Opening, but it looks like we're going to see him Shotgun Wings on the Appaloosa, and then we're going to see Wings. This actually might all be happening in the draw phase, I'm not sure. Yeah, Wings is going to bring out Break Sword. Break Sword is going to trigger Rusty to pop the set. Yeah, so it looks like this is happening in draw phase. And obviously Scythe will come out, and then standby phase DPE comes back. And yeah, I don't really know how you're winning this one. I mean, an evenly matched honestly would kind of swing the game back in favor for Phantom Knights here. Like, a lot, actually. But only so much, right? You're still Scythe locked. Probably keeping Appaloosa, or maybe the DPE, which is still a reoccurring problem. So, that's going to take us right into Game 3 here. And, I think opening hands here for our Despia player looked like it was, like, Right Chain, Lancia, Branded in red, and something else. Might have been Griffin Rider. But we're going to see him lead with Rite of Eremacir, as the Adventurer engine is something that is somewhat commonly played in the Despia deck, although not every build is playing it, as people are still trying to figure the deck out and solve it and what is the best way to run it. We'll see him, you know, get Fateful, get the token. Fateful effect is going to go ahead and grab the Water Enchantress here, so he does have Wandering Griffin Rider in hand. He will discard Chain as part of that effect for Fateful Adventure, and he will activate Chain Engraved to go ahead and search a copy of Patchwork. Now, my friend Dan here, upon reviewing this footage, said he probably should have made a bit of a different play, which I think involved something to do with like linking the, like, normal summoning the Chain and then linking off the token into Link Spider to go for an Anaconda play, which gets him to Mirror Jade, I think. I can't remember the exact playline, but I remember him expressing there was some other better way for him to play out this opening turn. We will see Gamma hit the Griffin Rider, which I don't think is a terrible hit because that gets Griffin Rider kind of out of the circulation. If it gets put back into deck, it becomes a problem because it can become like a reoccurring negate every turn. And unfortunately, that will force him to pass turn there. I think one of the biggest issues here for our Despia player here in Game 3 is just simply no way to fuse. He was able to sort of get access to like a way to fusion, but I guess not enough materials to be able to actually complete the fusion summon. And we're going to see our Phantom Knight player here open up Tour Guide. And the opening here was very fragile for our Phantom Knight player. So this was just more going back to what I was saying earlier about how the end board I think could have been much better for our Despia player. You simply get one interruption to clear the Cherubini, or to clear the Tour Guide, and then I think at that point you're just kind of, you're chilling. Because I think the rest of the hand for our Phantom Knight player here was not very good at all. I believe it was like double Cloak, Tracker, Tour Guide, and something else. I think it might have been a Fog Blade. So had he played through it correctly, he probably would have ended on a slightly better board. At least maybe put up one interruption. Because he still gammas the Griffin Rider anyways, and then you go into your Link 2 play with the Link Spider and the Chain for an Anaconda play, and then from there, you probably just dump Branded Fusion for Mirror Jade, and then you just banish the Cherubini. At least that's what I think the proper play would have been. But we will see our, our Phantom Knight player here continue to pop off, going for Rusty. Seer will bring back the Cherubini. We're going to see him link off the Tracker and the Cherubini into Anaconda, pay 2,000, dumping Fusion Destiny alongside Celestial and Dasher. And we will see him summon the Enforcer. That's already quite a bit of damage here on the field, so we will see Rusty kill the token. Rusty's going to kill the token since 2k, 2k, so, and Rusty's at 21, and he'll take 3k to the face. And we're going to see him pass turn here. Has to worry about DPE and definitely 2 Fog Blades here. Actually, no, I think it's just 1 Fog Blade because I don't think he searched off a boost that turn. We know the 1 was set off the Rusty. But at this point, it's just a matter of how he plays through the DPE pop. At least 1 Fog Blade. It's probably another Fog Blade because, again, I don't think he used boots that turn, so... Or no, it's double Fog Blade. It's the one he hard opened and then the one he got off of Rusty. So it is 2 Fog Blade. Yeah, I forgot to put the one in the opening hand. And Celestial Dasher always being engraved is always kind of a problem, just because it's Pot of Greed on the crackback. We're going to see our Despia player here, so used to our Despia player being the Phantom Knight player, but not in this case. We're going to see him activate right after banishing the Enchantress from hand to go ahead and summon the token. That is going to trigger the effect of Fateful Adventure to go ahead and grab the Draco back, the very rideable dragon, which is kind of clutch here. That can force DPE. We will see him go ahead and search out another Enchantress. And then he's going to go ahead and discard for that cost of Fateful, at least on the resolution of the effect anyways. We're going to see him activate the Draco back. That is going to force the DPE, because you just have to use it there. It's use or lose it situation. I think I see Brandon opening in the hand here. But again, Brandon opening is only as good as the card you summon off of it. And it's probably going to be a Luber, which is probably going to get hit with a Fog Blade. We're going to see him discard the Enchantress. This is going to resolve here. I think I see Poly and Edgimp Chain in hand. Obviously being searched off that Patchwork. And I didn't get a good look at the last card. Oh, I think it's... kind of looked like Brandon in red, but it's hard to tell. So not entirely out of the game yet. So like even if the Eluber doesn't get to resolve here, he could still at least try to make a fusion summon play. Yeah, it's definitely Chain, Poly are the 2 cards that are known in hand, and the last card might be Brandon in red. Which is a good card, but really doesn't help so much in this current situation. So we'll see what he wants to go ahead and summon off this Brandon opening here. I feel like you definitely probably just go for a Luber. Maybe not. Looks like he will just go for the Despian Tragedy. I was going to say the Luber would definitely force out at least 1 Fog Blade. but I can see wanting to try to play around it. He will go ahead and fuse off the Tragedy and the Edge Imp Chain for a copy of Quartus. And then you will activate the effect of Chain Engrave. Go ahead and search for a Frightfur card. So we're just going to go ahead and grab out another Patchwork. This engine just basically kind of just keeps looping in on itself. Patchwork gets you Chain and Poly. You fuse with the Chain. Chain gets you Patchwork. Patchwork gets you another Chain and Poly. Importantly, Poly not being once per turn, too, which is huge. And especially since he hasn't even activated the Patchwork yet this turn, he could go get access to another Polymerization. But the important thing here is getting access to Fallen of Albaz will make a world of a difference. Looks like he will use the Tragedy Engrave as well to go ahead and search out the Ad Libitum. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up here. So during your main phase, you can make all monsters currently in the field gain attack equal to their own level times 100. If this card on your hand or field is used as fusion material instead of the graveyard or banished, you can target one level 8 or higher fusion monster that is banished or in your graveyard, except Ad Libitum, and special summon it. So it looks like we will see our Despia player here go into the battle phase to attack over the Rusty. He did use Quartus' effect to zero everything out on the board. So he will be able to take that full 2,500 damage. And we're going to see him activate Brandon in red here. And since he did fuse with Ad Libitum, and he does have Polymerization Engrave here too, which is kind of huge. So this makes it so the Guardian Chimera can now not be targeted by this Fog Blades. So he will get to go ahead and pop one and draw two here. And obviously the Ad Libitum going to go ahead and bring back the Quartus. And this would be game here otherwise, since the Quartus can attack again now since it's all happening in the battle phase. But getting rid of that second Fog Blade was very, very important here in this situation. He was not able to clear it since he can just Fog Blade the Anaconda, and now it cannot be targeted for an attack. I don't think there was a way to go ahead and fuse with 2 from the field and only 1 from the hand. That way he could have popped 2 and drew 1. Very unfortunate situation here. Obviously, you can't really complain about the draw 2. That's going to be nice, and it all depends on what he drew into here. That's going to make a world of a difference, but it looks like he does not have anything else there. Extremely unfortunate, so we will see Fogblade end phase, bringing out Rusty, and with it, the Torn Scale, which is just setting up tons of advantage. Draw phase, Dasher going to summon out Psyframe Gamma. Standby phase. We're going to see DPE return a full field of monsters here. Well, almost full. I mean, the Gamma really not doing too much for anything other than probably Unicorn / Access Code plays, just giving him free link fodder. Yep, there's the Nightmare Unicorn. And he'll have to get rid of the Quartus, because I still believe the Chimera cannot be targeted. But DPE, being as good as it is, does not target. I think we're going to see him chain the Quartus to go ahead and zero everything out. And the Brandon opening, I think, being banished to protect the Guardian Chimera from the DPE. I think. I'm going to have to read Brandon opening. If a fusion monster control be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish the card from the graveyard instead. So I think the DPE should have popped something else. I think the Fateful should be popped, because obviously DPE doesn't target. By the way, it's getting cleared by the Break Sword anyways, or with the Rusty effect. And we're going to see him go into Access Code. And Access Code is just going to banish the Unicorn to non-target, destroy the Guardian Chimera. And I think that is unfortunately just going to seal it. Nothing engraved to come out to block damage here. And 5,300 is all he needs to deal. And I think this is just going to seal it out right here. Yeah, just attack for game. 5,300. And no Nibiru in sight. That is going to do it right then and there. Phantom Knight Scythe Lock taking it 2-1. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. If you did, leave a like and check out one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, I'd like to give a huge thank you to our growing number of Divine level channel members here, and they are Tweeter0226, Ponystar, Cadillacs84, Keith Sidgers, Justin Lamb, Master of Isa, and HZH Cyber. Thank you guys so much for your extremely kind and generous support of the channel.